I'm guilty. I caught myself doing something which is a key characteristic of the saboteur we will tackle this time. I found myself procrastinating, coming up with yet another excuse for not taking action as I had intended. But eventually I did it. So here we are talking about the avoider saboteur. This episode of our Saboteur Safari is dedicated to the avoider saboteur. I'm Sandra, a certified coach and mental fitness trainer. Well, this saboteur is actually not easy to spot, I can tell you. I bet we all have experienced situations we were not so keen to deal with, right? I mean, not immediately. You want things to emerge, to develop, and not jump on them right away. Not everything needs to be considered a problem, right? Which needs to be resolved. Often it is actually much healthier to let something take care of itself. Solutions may emerge in unexpected ways without you having to intervene, creating a scene. Unless you deal with a deadline, of course, in that case, it can be different. But why did you say yes to taking on that task in the first place? Well, you just hate to hurt someone's feelings. It can be so toxic to the connection you've built. But before you look deeper into the details around the delivery expected, you may want to just take a minute to zoom into Google Earth, to the Galapagos Islands, getting a feel of the 20 million years of volcanic history, not to forget the amazing wildlife. And you wonder if you should spend your vacation there or the rest of your life as you think about it. And before you know it, the day is gone. But hey, you will take action tomorrow. Well, the downside of having an avoider bias, in case of a deadline, sooner or later you will have an ugly encounter with your inner panic monster waking up at your delivery date, ultimately. Before that, you will have experienced a lot of guilt and possibly anxiety because you procrastinated the steps you meant to take over and over again. And eventually you will be forced to deal with a sky-high pile of tasks now, because otherwise someone's feelings will be hurt. And that's the last thing you really want. If you do not have a deadline, you try to keep everything, well, even keel. However, there may be this fear that your hard-won peace of mind may be interrupted. And as you pull up the camera, looking at yourself from some distance, you may notice the following. You feel like the spectator of your own life. You may not even get to doing things you dream about. And this is causing you a lot of pain and grief and guilt eventually. Let's come back to why I'm sharing this with you. The avoider is a self-sabotaging habit of your mind, according to the research by Stanford lecturer Shirzad Chamine, author of Positive Intelligence. Your mind holds your thoughts for truth without even knowing it. And these are the lies your avoider saboteur keeps telling you. You are a good person to spare others' feelings. No good comes out of conflict. Someone needs to be the peacemaker. It's good to be flexible. Quite a dilemma to live with, right? And also the avoider saboteur goes back to the survival instincts that are rooted in our early childhood, be it happy or difficult in this case. In a happy childhood, you might not have learned how to deal with difficult emotions because there possibly was no role model. In a childhood of high conflict and tension, The avoider might come into play as peacemaker and learn to not add any negativity or tension on top of the existing family issues and problems. But now you are an adult, and those old survival strategies and solutions from your childhood are not needed anymore, nor useful, as your panic monster will have taught you by now. Rather, you will have noticed that your avoider has an impact on yourself and others around you. If you deny conflicts and unpleasant things that do exist, you prevent yourself from actually working with them so you can turn them into gifts and opportunities. Feeling numb to pain is different than knowing how to gain wisdom and power from overcoming pain. What is avoided doesn't go away and festers. As a result, you may find that your relationships are quite superficial and maybe a little bit shallow because you keep avoiding any conflicts. And finally, you may realize that others are cautious to trust you because they cannot be sure when you withhold negative information. But this does not have to stay this way. In only 6 weeks' time, you can learn how to label and interrupt your avoider saboteur and build your self-command muscle. You learn how to shift into your true power that allows you to take action with laser-focused clarity, one step at a time. Sounds interesting? Just get in touch if you're committed to act. Today, possibly. I am here for you.